Shalom, it's Ruben Abramov, the Haftorahman. This Shabbat, as every Shabbat, we go to synagogue. Synonym at one with God. Not sin a friend and a sin a family. We're there to be at one with God. But how do we do that? Well, let's see what we're doing there. Like in temple times, you have your prayers of the Tehillim, the Psalms, and you have the Karbanot, the sacrifices that you read about, and you have your Shema Yisrael, you have your Shmona Esrei, you have the portion of the Torah reading, and then the Nevi'im are read. The men and women that were spiritually connected to God, that we use as role models in order to lift ourselves higher, to be synagogue, at one with God. And this week's Haftarah is one of the series of these 4 special Haftorahs before Pesach. You had the launch with Shekalim, shekels, be part of the group and be counted and contribute. Zachor, remember your enemy. You know where you came from, you know where you're going to. This week, Parah, this enigmatic, magical cow that was able to, this red heifer, would be sprinkled on people that were tameh, spiritually impure, and magically would reverse the energy that they would become tahor. Also, illogical. Why? Because also somebody that was tahor, holy, that came in contact with it would become tameh, impure. This puzzled even King Solomon. He said, I understand the ethical monotheism, don't kill, don't steal. I even say, okay, it's a chok. I'm not supposed to do shatnez. Okay, I don't understand, but it's a test of what God has asked me to do. But now, do me a favor. This doesn't even make any sense. Let's shine some light on the situation. Ta-da! This doesn't make any sense. So now, what do you have? Sorry, guys. Is this camera flashing? So now, what do you have? You have this magical situation where it doesn't make any sense. It's illogical. Okay, fine. Now, where do we go? We're going to go into the book of Yechezkel. Chazak El. God is strong. And 3 important things to remember about the book of Ezekiel. The beginning, his vision of God's heavenly chariot, lifting itself up and away from the city of Jerusalem, hovering over the Beit HaMikdash no longer, and now Nebuchadnezzar is available and capable of going to Jerusalem and with his spatula flicking the Beit HaMikdash off of planet Earth. What's the big deal? The big deal is that if you look in the Torah, it told us where you can worship God. You have to worship God in Yerushalayim, in God's temple. It's not there anymore, so now what? Back in the day, gods were geocentric. There was the God of 212. There was the God of 516. Now, you can move gods. Now, the Jews are in exile, in Babylon. They have a leader, Ezekiel, and Ezekiel is saying, V'haya Hashem lamelech kol haaretz. Point being, he didn't say it, but the point being is that he's saying you can worship Yud Kei Vav Kei anywhere on planet Earth. You don't only have to be in Jerusalem in the temple. Brilliant. The religion morphed. The religion adapted. There's a strictness and a rigidity about religion, the rituals, but there's also a rabbinic insight and a prophetic insight into what are we going to do as far as keeping this thing going. Now, you have Ezekiel. He was living in Jerusalem, a Kohen and a prophet, and he sees the destruction of the temple. He's part of the exile. He's out there, and the people are looking at him. Now what do we do? Because don't worry, I saw the future. You're going to be returned to the land of Israel. Now let's get into the Haftarah, Parashat Parah, this magical red heifer. But what do we have in the Haftarah that is thematically connected? So let's start off. Vahi devar Hashem elai lemor, that the word of God came to me. It's in writing. I'm a prophet. I saw what happened. Ben Adam. He is referred to as Ben Adam. Why Ben Adam? I'll tell you. He saw God's heavenly chariot. So then people are saying, hey, you must be an angel. No man gets to live. He goes, no, I'm just Ben Adam. I'm the son of man. I'm a human being. Beit Yisrael yoshvim al admasam v'yitamu osam b'darkam ketumad hanida. That husband and wife, God and Israel. You know what? You have It's like a woman when she has a period. The husband is not supposed to come near her, not supposed to touch her. Doesn't want to be nogea ba. I'm going to pour my anger out on this nation of Israel. I'm going to spread you out amongst all the nations. Pharaoh controlled the Jews. He held them prisoners. Nebuchadnezzar diffused the Jews and spread them out all over the lands, hoping that they'll disappear. And you are out in the nations. Ve'echmol al shem kodshi. Lo lema'anchem ani oseh beit Yisrael ki im l'shem kodshi asher chilaltem b'goyim asher basem sham. Says, guys, you didn't get the message. I put you into exile because you were committing adultery, idolatry, murder, bribing judges. But you want to know something? You didn't get it. So now, all the Goyim are talking about me in a bad way because, the God of the Jews, look what he can't do. He can't keep them there. He lost them. And I'm going to take you. Here's the tie-in. Here's the connection to the Parshas Parah. That I'm going to sprinkle you with this holy water. That I'm going to make you reverse your spiritual impurity. You've become Lev HaEvan, hearts of stone. With the hearts of stone. Yes. So what happened is, you became cold to God. You became cold. You had no feelings about being connected to God. And he says, you know what? I'm going to give you a new heart, a Lev Chadash. You can see somebody that has a joy on their face, that they're connected to God, and they feel protected, and they feel guided. And this is the energy that I'm going to bring back to you Jews. You Israelites are going to go back to the land of Israel. It's not only you. It's whoever wants to come close to God. V'yashaftem ba'aretz, you're going to put you back in the land. V'hoshati eschem, I'm going to save you. Mekol tum oseichem, I'm going to save you from all of your tumah, your impurity. V'hirbesi pri ha'etz utunuvad hasadeh, that the land will be fruitful and you're going to have plenty of crops. You'll be wealthy. Lo lema'anchem, but not because of you. Ki biyom tahari eschem mikol avon oseichem, I will cleanse you spiritually. Hayisa ke Gan Eden, it's going to be like Gan Eden. So, what's this big deal about the cow? Look at a cow. What did you put in? What did you get out? You put in grass, water, almost nothing. What did you get out? Cows, bulls, horns, you got leather, you made tefillin, you made cloth, you made clothing, you made your shoes, you made your flasks. Then, what about the milk? What about the meat you eat? What about the babies it gave off? It was a jackpot. It was like real estate. You buy a building for $1 million, you put $100,000 down, and you get $150,000 rent roll. Right away, you're making money. So right away, you had a cow. It was like a goddess. And that's why you have Egel HaZahav, Parah Aduma. You see this, the Indian people, you're not allowed to kill the cow. These are all things that they used to look at this animal as being this big, huge animal that took nothing and gave a lot. They loved it. So now, what are we doing? You're right before Pesach, and you're trying to say to yourself, okay, number one, shekalim, I want to be counted with Am Yisrael. Number two, zachor et asher aselecha Amalek, what Amalek did to you, that they were your enemy, they picked you off, and now you're saying, I remember where we came from, and now I want to understand where I'm going. So now, what do you have today? Tomorrow, Shabbat Parah, Parshat Parah, that you take whatever it is that yours tum'ah and impurity, and that you get rid of it. And before you can become holy, you have to get rid of the dirt. You have to get rid of all the things that are conflicts inside of you, spiritual conflicts with yourself, with humans, and with God. And then finally, you're going to have Parshat HaChodesh in next week, the beginning of a new era, new month, new year, that the Bnei Yisrael will be freed from everything that's on their back, dragging them down. Shabbat Shalom. Enjoy the Haftarah.